All right. So welcome to KV Core Power Hour. Today we're going to be talking about landing pages and squeeze pages. These are both a form of lead generation and they're totally free. And the only limit really to these pages is your own creativity and how you want to use them. First, we're going to talk about landing pages. So landing pages is basically a web page. It's pretty single dimensional. And you create it, potential leads land on that page, and then they have to decide if they're going to register for either desired information or a desired offer, maybe some sort of campaign you're running at the moment. And some examples of what landing pages can be are buyer pages, seller pages, maybe home valuations, or coming soon or just sold listings. Coming soon and just sold listings, these are on here because, due to our IDX agreements with our MLS, coming soon and just sold can't be actively marketed to the public. That's why Zillow pulls them as soon as they're under contract, things like that. So landing pages are a great option if you want to go ahead and leverage listings either before or after they're an active listing. Squeeze pages are a little bit different. So these are actually utilizing the IDX feature. And what IDX is basically you're pulling data from the MLS. So every single real estate search that you do, every listing alert that you set up for a client, those types of things, those are IDX searches. So when a lead arrives on a squeeze page and they're given some information, or maybe they preview a listing or a few pictures, they are then squeezed by the page into registering for more info. So you've probably noticed this. This is when you're looking and maybe you go through 3 photos and then it prompts you to register. This is really popular and you've probably been on these or used these a couple times and not really ever known you were using a squeeze page. Examples of squeeze pages would be neighborhood searches, property types like pools and patio homes. You can do a singular listing page. So if you want to just use an active listing, or videos. So here's an example of really what would happen if you utilize a squeeze page. So you run an ad on Google with a squeeze page URL. Let's say new homes in East Hill, or maybe a popular neighborhood in Mobile, or homes under 200,000 in whatever city. So just setting a specific parameter around that search. So you run an ad on Google with a squeeze page. Anyone who finds your ad arrives on your KV Core site. They view 3 properties, and then the system prompts them to register to keep looking. Once they register, if they do, the lead then arrives on your dashboard hashtagged. So we've heard hashtag before, hopefully, especially if you've been coming to KV Core Power Hour. And hashtags are basically just ways to organize contacts. So hashtags would be company lead. If you guys are working company leads, you'll probably see that one a lot. Company lead, property addresses, things like that. And we'll look at a few hashtags here. Over to the right, I've collected basically a list of different squeeze page examples. So you can run zip code squeeze pages, pool homes, land, new construction, different neighborhoods, patio homes, fixer-uppers, school systems, military bases, and waterfront. Landing pages. Here's an example of the workflow through a landing page. You run an ad on Google with the squeeze page URL. What is your home worth? Lead clicks on that link. They land on that KV Core web page, and they have to register to request that property valuation. So once they basically create an account or send you their email address and their property address, they then arrive on your dashboard with whatever hashtag you designate. Over to the right, we have a couple of different examples of types of landing pages. We have lead generation pages, video pages, video plus lead generation pages, content hijack, text code, address capture, and Facebook chat. And we'll look at these. So here is an example of a landing page. They're all going to look just like this. The only differences really are going to be, you know, what your text says and whatever you choose to have as your background. So this one is geared towards military families. Maybe if you're a relocation agent, this would be something that you could use, or something like that. So it says looking to move closer to Fort Hamilton. You have your 4 little bullet points here, and then the client has to decide, are they going to, you know, opt in or opt out. Here's another one. So we said coming soon and just sold. You can't really use the IDX feature because of privacy issues. So here's an example of that coming soon landing page. In the background here, we have a stock photo, but you could actually add a photo of the house. Maybe you're promoting an open house or something like that. You could create a landing page out of it. It's whatever you want to do with it. This says, remember, saving finalizes the page and the URL at the top becomes permanent. Be sure to save that URL. It's not saved anywhere else. So once you create a landing page, it is given to you with a URL, just like any website, but the system doesn't catalog that URL. You'll have to either bookmark the page, and I'll show you how to do that, or copy and paste the URL somewhere so that you have it if you want to continue using it. Okay, some final tips before we go into a demo. For landing pages, it's easy to sort of get lost in your concept, but you have to make sure that what you're putting out there makes sense. Are you actually providing something of value? And is it going to make sense to a customer? Are they going to want to opt in? Don't forget photos. Photos are extremely important. If you're going to be using these in Facebook ads, they can make or break your ad in a huge way. We're really visual people. We love humor, so use these and pick a photo that's, you know, going to best represent your ad and get people to click on it. Generally speaking, good ideas include photos which are funny and or relevant, gorgeous, maybe landmarks. I know Pensacola and Mobile have quite a few of those. Use thoughtful hashtags to track and keep your leads organized. So hashtags are going to be, once the lead comes into the system, that's going to be how you're going to be able to track these and group them, put them on a campaign. So be really thoughtful with your hashtags before you even start using this landing page so that you're leveraging it. And then use those hashtags and create a campaign for leads that come from each landing page. So once you collect all these leads, what are you going to do with them? Hopefully you're going to have some sort of campaign that's thought out and nurturing them so that you can get them to transact. And our last tip is to post on Facebook groups and buy sell pages. So there's lots of buy sell groups and local groups, things like that. So if you use these links effectively and you post them 2 to 3 times a week, this is a great free way to get people into your website and get some leads going for you. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and we are gonna head into KV Core here. Let me get out of this. Okay, I have a lot of windows open. Here we go. All right, can you see my KV Core dashboard? Hopefully we can see everything okay. I'll take that as a yes. Okay, all right. So we're in our KV Core dashboard here. A few things to touch on before we actually go into the web pages. Down here at the bottom right-hand corner, this is going to be your support icon. So I'm going to open this up and show you guys. I was looking into something earlier, and this is what you guys are going to be able to see. So there's a few different ways to get help. If you guys are looking for something in particular, like let's say squeeze pages. Oops, I misspelled that. I'm not the best typer. using keywords, you can actually search on here for articles, and they pretty much have an article for everything. So if you guys want to try and figure this out on your own, this is a great way to learn. Or you can actually send these people a message. It will give you a response time, and you can actually start conversations, and it keeps track of all your conversations. So if you start something and maybe they get back to you in those 30 minutes, you can come back to it, no problem. Another thing that you can do is start a message and request a phone call. So if you actually want to talk to somebody on the phone, go ahead and send them a message and say you need help on the phone. So those are your support options. Let's look at our lead generation, our squeeze pages and landing pages. These are going to be lead generation tools. So I am here on this little middle icon. It looks kind of like an amoeba, I guess. So I'm going to hover over it, and you can go right into building landing pages or squeeze pages, or you can just go into this lead engine dashboard here. And if you scroll down, you'll see them here, landing pages and squeeze pages. So we'll start working with a landing page. You guys won't have to pick a domain because you guys have agent accounts. I'm an admin, so there's that extra step there for me. And hopefully this looks really familiar. This looks just like those examples, the Coming Soon and the VA program websites. So the important thing to remember here is that the format essentially stays the same. It's always going to look like this. So remember that when you're really coming up with your ideas. And an important thing to remember is you're going to start at the top left-hand corner, work your way over to the right. These are going to be your settings for the page. And then you'll work your way down and actually write this out, because depending on the template, it does change just a little bit. So here are main options. We went over these or we actually touched on these in the presentation. Lead generation is the most popular one. It just looks like this. You present your offer and they register. Video view is going to allow you guys to put a video in, and then they'll go in and look at your video. Now, this one doesn't have a lead generation. It doesn't actually ask them for their information. If that's your goal, video plus lead generation. It will give them the video, and then they can put in their information to either see a list of properties or opt in to whatever you are trying to get them to opt into. Content hijack. This one is a bit weird. I wouldn't recommend this one because basically you're drawing them in with something and then trying to present them with something else. And so when they come here to the content hijack, it says either see list now or no thanks, take me to what I wanted. So this one is a little sort of vague, but if it's something you want to use, it's totally a concept here available for you. Text lead is going to be enter code to the smart number. So this is just another way to generate leads. They don't have to put in their email address. They just text a code and it captures their phone number that way. Address capture. This is going to be enter your address, so receive evaluation, get on my mailing list, that type of thing. And then Facebook chat, this just sort of pushes them to chat with you on Facebook. So you're just sort of choosing how do you want this person to choose to connect with you. So let's keep it on lead generation. This is the most popular one and the easiest one to understand. Hashtag, so this is going to be your grouping. So let's say this was that relocation and we were promoting our VA buyers, trying to get VA buyers. That would be my hashtag, right? If it was for that coming soon listing, you could put it as the coming soon listing. So however you want to do this, just think it out so that you can pull them out later, put them on a campaign, kind of know where they came from, right? They're not just sitting there and it's an unidentified lead. Submit button text, this is in the middle. This is what this button here says. So if it's not a listed property, let's say get more information. There we go, get more information, or send me. and it will change as you type it out. So very easy to do. URL after login. So this is if once they press this button, put their email, their cell phone number. Once they press this button, it's going to take them to another page. So if you're actually wanting them to maybe go to a property page or something like that, you can do that here. If you want them to look at listings though, the IDX squeeze page is going to be the way to do that here. Require phone. This is just going to make this optional or not. Background here, this is where you're actually going to choose what the background is. So here we're looking at this lady, but you can change it to photo of some acreage, and that photo moves in the background. That's kind of cool. So they have tons of like stock photos, and you can scroll through all these, or you can do a custom background or primary MLS image. So you can use these as well if you want to get a little more customized with it. Lead type, this is just going to choose how the system tags that lead when they come into the system. So they get 2 tags, basically what type are they, and then a hashtag, so you can organize them. So let's see what that looks like. We go to contacts. And so you can see here, buyer, seller. So it will also tag them as the type of buyer that they are. So that's landing pages. Once you're done setting up your settings here, you just come in here and start typing away. Whatever it might see, whatever you wanted to say. If you don't want any of this, by the way, just double click on it and it goes away. So all I'm doing is just double clicking and they are disappearing. So you don't have to have those there if you can't come up with anything. And if you ever mess it up, just refresh the page and you can start over. I'm going to try and find an example for you. The Guthrie team, they actually had me sit down with them and help them make a landing page. So that helped familiarize me with this. And I'm going to let you guys get to see a real life example. There we go. If it will go. There we go. All right, so again, this was a landing page. So what we did was we put it in an email. There's not really a dashboard where you can go and look at all your landing pages. So make sure you're saving these, otherwise they are gone. But this is their example. It's say yes to your future. Connect with the Guthrie team for your free home valuation. And we went in here and changed all of this text. And then the client would sign up and then request their valuation. So this gives them a little bit of control. They're basically just given the leads information and they can contact them to do a CMA. And then we've got this cool animated background in the background. So if you guys ever do want to bookmark these pages, this little star icon right here, that's your bookmark bar. So just hit the star, add the bookmark, and click done, and you've got it saved. You can never lose it. It's that easy, but definitely recommend remembering that, or once you lose 1 or 2, hopefully it'll sort of click that you have to save these URLs. So that's a landing page. We're going to go back in down to our Legion icon, and let's build a squeeze page. So here we are in the squeeze page dashboard, and this one does have a history. So landing pages, you gotta save them. Squeeze pages, you actually have a history here, and all of those URLs are saved. So it will have maybe the name if you've named it, and then your search criteria and hashtags. So you can easily come in here and view these, copy the links, and continue to use these over and over again. IDX squeeze pages, we are on the build tab now. There are 4 different types of squeeze pages. The first is multi-property. So this is basically a property search. You put in your criteria and it will pull up all the properties that meet those criteria. Single property, this is just what it sounds like. You enter in that listing ID and it will create a page for that. So we're going to go through and do all of these. They also have a seller squeeze page and then a market reports page. So we're going to do every single one of these. So let's do one for, let's say, Pensacola. So I'm typing in where I want the location to be. I want you guys to notice here, you have a couple of different options. So if you want to do it around a school system or something like that, you can do that in here. So that's pretty cool. Maybe there's a school system there that everyone wants to be in. You can use that to lead generate. You can also do zip codes, counties, that types of thing. And you can also draw on maps. So East Hill, as we all know, or maybe we don't, some of us know, but East Hill is a great neighborhood down here that doesn't actually have like an easy thing to import. So you actually have to draw the map. So if you have areas like that, you can get as specific as you want to with it. So let's just do Pensacola. We'll keep it simple. Listing type, if you click on this, guys, it's going to show you your options. So if you're not sure, just scroll through them. But this is literally what type of property. Is it land? Is it multifamily, single family? So if you're looking to maybe work with some investors, you're not limited here. The only thing you're limited by is what's available in our residential MLS. So our CMLS or any commercial MLS is not a feature on KV Core. So let's do single family. Style, this is kind of if you want to get real specific, but I think that you probably would hem yourself in a little bit too much with the style because I always get different answers on different things. Price range. We're just going to put something in here to narrow it down a little bit. You can do square footage, acres, beds, bath, walk score, and then options here. So if you're looking to promote just listed properties or fixer uppers, new construction, you can actually just click on these and it's gonna pull in your options. So we're gonna see what happens here. I've got Pensacola, single family homes in the $200,000 to $300,000 range, $300,000 range, and new construction. Over here to my right is my page configuration. So source is going to be kind of like, what are you planning on doing with this? Are you going to put it on Facebook? Are you going to run a Google ad? There's lots of things here. So you can just be really general. We're going to put web. Hashtags, I've got new builds. Or you could put 200 to 300, I suppose. And make sure you guys that you're pressing enter. And that will make your hashtag. So you can make as many as you want. Facebook cover photo here, if you're going to be putting this on Facebook, you can actually pull in photos from these listings. So let's say you can do from your agency, or you can do a specific photo. And let's just pick one. Here is where you say, how many properties is this person going to be able to look at before they're asked to register? So let's say we want them to register immediately. We don't even want them to look at the first one. It'll probably let them look at a photo or something, and then they have to register. That's what 1 is. 2 is the default. So they look at 1, and then when they go to the next property, it can tell that they're really interested, and it's going to ask them. If you guys want to create a squeeze page and put it out to existing leads, some people have maybe a sphere or a certain pool of buyers and sellers. You can say never. So if you just want to offer some information, you don't have to ask these leads to register. That's totally an option here. We'll keep it on the default. And then once you have all this done, you can't see a link here. That's because we have to generate a link with this little green button. If you ever make any changes here, you need to reset it and regenerate the link if you decide that maybe this isn't quite right. So I'm going to copy this. Copy paste it here. And here we go. So it is pulling up a list. There's 34 results in Pensacola. So once they start looking at these and clicking through the photos, and they're going to be asked to register, but you can go ahead and preview this, make sure it looks good and it's pulling in what you want, or maybe it has enough results, and go ahead and use it. So that's what's called a multi-property. It's basically an MLS search, and you're just going to use this to lead generate. So it's a great free option. The next one we have is a single property. So you'll want to use your own listings for this. If you do want to use someone else's listing, I recommend that A, be in the brokerage, and B, you ask for permission. Does anyone have a live listing right now that we can use and preview this? If not, let's go here to property listings, and we'll say MLS listings. Oh, we are on MLS. Okay. So we'll just use one of our listings. We'll do 1599 Highway 95A. So let's go back to Squid property. There we go. So you're just going to start searching by the address, and it will auto-populate. Remember, source is your intention. If you're not sure, just go ahead and put web or not sure. I mean, you can use this however you want. And then our hashtags. So for this one, it's a specific property. Go ahead and use the property address. So you can tag them as the property address. You can tag them as maybe country home if this is a home out in the country, which it might be, something like that. So you can go ahead and group these buyers. So this is going to be really useful if you're thoughtful with it. Property of use allowed before registration, it's set on 2. Again, this is up to your discretion. And then you're going to generate a link. Sorry about that. Okay, so we generated a link. We're going to copy this and paste it in our URL bar just to preview it. And there we go. So it's a nice listing detail page. You will show up here. And then the listing information shows up down here at the bottom. So it's just a nice little landing page here. Once they start clicking through the photos or looking at other properties, it will ask them to register. Seller squeeze pages are next. So this is asking them to opt in to get an instant market report. So we'll do web again. Market report. The only thing that you need to know here or really choose here is the location. So if you're marketing to East Hill sellers, whatever it might be. I did spell that right. Okay. Or a neighborhood or a zip code, anything like that. School zones, doesn't matter. You just have to have a location. East Hill's actually not going to work. Let's do 32503. And then 32503. So make sure your hashtags are right. That's really important so that you know where these leads are coming from and know what they are at first glance. And then you've got your location set up, and we're going to generate this link. So we're going to copy and paste it. And this is what a seller report squeeze page looks like. So this is really similar. It's basically the landing page. It's just their version. So basically it's saying the average price in this area is $450. So if you want to double check that, make sure what you're putting out is accurate. And then all they'll do is put in their email address and they'll receive a market report. So it looks like this. It just shows what's been selling and then the basic information. So this is a great way to offer something of value for free. I mean, automatically, and you're getting leads right into your system. Last one is the market report. So let's go ahead and look at that one. This one is probably going to be real similar. Let's do our zip code again, 32503, and see how different it is. 2503 market report, or you could do 32503 Facebook ad, whatever you want to call these, and then we'll go ahead and generate the link. And look at this one. Oh, but I messed it up. Okay, so here's the market report one. Okay, so this one is a little bit different. It has just reports for different statistics and things like that. So they'll look at these and then it will ask them to, learn more or prompt them to register, but it will show them different homes that are for sale and then those different statistics for the area. So those are your 4 squeeze pages. One thing I do want to show you guys under marketing, you can come here and actually set up a property alert. So once these people go in, let's say they're looking at an ad that you put out for a school system. You can come in here to search alerts. And you guys, these are actual alerts that people have come in here and gone ahead and created. But you'll want to do this. So if you're doing these, maybe not landing pages, but the IDX squeeze pages, and they're coming in and they're looking at a specific property, or they're looking at an area with specific bedrooms at a specific price point, you can actually come in here and create an alert. So here's an example of those hashtags that are being created. Pensacola Pole Homes, Foley 32200. So these are hashtags. This is how specific you can get with these. So once you're creating these squeeze pages, generating your hashtags, come in here and actually create an alert for that hashtag. I don't really want to mess with theirs. I think I've created some 32503 ones. So let's say your hashtag is 32503. I think we did a 32503 seller one. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna leave the scope as me. And same thing, we're just creating that listing search to match my lead generation page. So shoot, what do we do? I can't remember. Okay, so let's just stick with 32503. Options I'm going to leave blank. Listing type was residential. Beds and baths, that was normal. Let's do 200 to 300,000. Acreage, square footage. So basically just set this up to match your squeeze page. And then right here, frequency, this is going to be how often do you want the system emailing them with those listings that match their criteria. Probably want this to be ASAP or daily, because as we all know, properties are not staying on the market that long and you kind of want to be front and center. So be selective with this. We'll change it to ASAP. And then CC. So if you want to be emailed every time one of these goes out, make sure you put that email address in there so you are getting that email as well. You can also send an alert when an open house matches this criteria. So that's kind of a cool feature there. So all you're doing is setting up that alert. You click add. And now anytime someone comes in on that squeeze page, they're going to be dropped into your CRM. They're going to be put on a campaign automatically for buyers or sellers. And then you can get really specific. So if you want to make a Pensacola pole home campaign or something like that to go along with your search alert here, you can do that. Or you can just leave it, let them get a buyer campaign and have them getting this listing alert as well. So this is a great way to automate it, get these leads in here, and try and generate some revenue. And all of this is free, guys. As long as you're in here and using this regularly, it's going to work for you. Do you have any questions for me while I'm here? I was hoping Judy was with us this morning. Okay.
I don't have any.
All right. So today we went over lead pages, landing pages, and squeeze pages. That's under our lead gen tool again, guys. And then once they drop in, we're making sure that they are on search alerts. And again, if you want to go ahead and set up a standalone search alert, you're going to click on the little paper plane icon and scroll down under marketing tools, and it's here under search alerts. If you guys are interested in looking more into campaigns, there is a video. We went over this last week, and it's under the kvCORE engagement room in the Main Street Agents app. So I'm going to click Main Street up here. I'll show you guys this real quick if you're not aware. And I'm going to scroll down on my toolbar down to agent groups. And it's the very last one. It's kvCORE engagement. So kvCORE campaign basics, this is going to go through like the basics. And then there's a kvCORE smart campaign basics. This is by the company, if that's something you want to watch. And then this one is done by me. So you can get two different perspectives there. But don't forget, this is here for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. Thank you guys for coming.